Hello, this is the Council on Independent Fundamental Bible Doctrine. I'm doing my next video in the Revelation Timeline series titled The Great Horde. There is a great horde attacking humanity, okay, in the book of Joel, okay? And this same horde is attacking humanity in Revelation. I'm going to show you how the correlation between the horde in Revelation and the horde in Joel, okay, gives us conclusions that we can draw about the Revelation timeline. Okay, so that's what we're going to see. We're going to see how the correlation between the great horde of Joel and the great horde in Revelation, okay, how the correlation gives us conclusions about the Revelation timeline. Let's go ahead and look at it. It is the Revelation, okay, in the book of Revelation, it is the fifth trumpet that this correlates with, okay? And the context of the Joel passage is Joel 2:1. The day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So we are talking about the day of the Lord, okay? And of course, we know the fifth trumpet is during the wrath, because it is at the fifth trumpet. Okay? So we go ahead and discuss it and look at it. All right. Joel chapter 2, verse 2. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. Okay? It's darkness. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as a smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air was darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Okay? So we have a loose correlation between the two passages, starting out with darkness. Okay? And don't forget upon the mountains. Okay? For future reference. Revelation 9:3, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. All right, so what does Joel say? Joel 2:3, and a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. That is how locusts affect the earth. Okay, it's plush and green before they get there, and then as they move into a new area, it's desolate wilderness afterwards, because they eat all the green crops and such. Okay, this is a statement identifying what he's talking about. They're both talking about locusts. Let's look at the appearance. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. That's Joel. What about Revelation? And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses, prepared unto battle, and on their heads were, as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. So Joel is saying they look like horses and horsemen, and Revelation is saying they look like horses and the faces of horsemen. Okay? So that's where it's at. Notice, prepared unto battle. Okay? Prepared unto battle. Notice they run. Okay? Let's go on. Joel 2:5, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. That's Joel. What's Revelation say? And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots, of many horses running to battle. So Joel says they sound like chariots. Revelation says they sound like chariots. Joel says they're set in battle array. Revelation says they're wearing breastplates of iron, which is battle array. Okay. Revelation says prepared unto battle, battle array. Okay, Joel says they run. Revelation 9:9 says they're running to battle. They sound like chariots. They sound like chariots in Joel. They sound like chariots in Revelation. They're on the tops of the mountains in Joel. Okay, and we already seen in the first clip that they're upon the mountains. Okay, that is also a descriptor of these hordes. Okay, so we see that they're correlating very well with each other. All right, the locusts attack mankind. This is not even something that locusts do. They affect mankind, but they don't attack mankind generally. Joel 2:6, before their face the people shall be much pained, all the faces shall gather blackness. And to them, in Revelation, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. Okay, so in Joel, these locusts are attacking mankind, which they don't normally do. They can affect mankind by eating the crops, but they don't normally attack mankind. Okay? In Revelation, they're attacking mankind and tormenting them, stinging them. Okay? But they don't kill them. In Joel, they don't kill them, but they give them pain. You see the correlations. Okay? And where would you be mostly stung at? It would be in the places where you don't wear a covering of clothes, which would be your face. Okay? Would be the most often struck. You see the correlation. These are talking about the same events in the day of the Lord. So what is the conclusion? Well, it's easy. This is in the day of the Lord. So the day of the Lord does not begin after the fifth trumpet, if the day of the Lord is already going at the fifth trumpet. Okay? So the day of the Lord does not begin after the fifth trumpet at the second return of Christ. The day of the Lord began before the fifth trumpet at the first return of Christ, at the herald of the day of the Lord and his wrath's arrival. The sun goes dark, the moon goes dark, stars fall from heaven. That is the herald of the day of the Lord and his wrath's arrival. That doesn't occur after the day of the Lord has started. That is the herald. That's when the day of the Lord is beginning. So the day of the Lord coming cannot be the second one. It has to be the first one. Okay? Because the wrath of God is in the day of the Lord. Okay? You don't herald the day of the Lord and his wrath coming upon the earth after it's over. The herald is at the first return, not the second return. You have made the first return of Christ at the herald of the day of the Lord and his wrath, the second return of Christ after the wrath is over. And that is not accurate. Okay? That is where we're going. Okay? We can see that the horde in Joel is the horde of the fifth trumpet. Okay? And we can see that it correlates, that it occurs in the day of the Lord before the second return of Christ ever occurs. So the first return of Christ is the herald return of Christ for the day of the Lord, not the second one, because the day of the Lord is already going. Just like when the Babylon video that I just did this past week, Babylon is destroyed at the seventh vial bowl judgment in the day of the Lord. So the day of the Lord is not heralded at the second return. And that is not ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon was destroyed by the Medo-Persia Empire. Okay? And it wasn't destroyed, it was just taken over. They took it over, they didn't destroy it. Alexander, the next empire, didn't destroy it, he took it over. In fact, Babylon, Medo-Persia was said to take it without a shot almost. Okay, because they snuck in. Okay? This is talking about the day of the Lord's destruction, when Babylon is destroyed forever. You can read the passages in Jeremiah, Isaiah. It's destroyed forever. This is the end. This hasn't happened yet. Okay? So it said nations in the Babylon. The 10-nation conglomerate ran by the Antichrist is the one that destroys Babylon in the passages that we discussed in the last video. So the day of the Lord does not start at the second return. It starts at the first return. All right. Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll get more up.